So I know we've been doing a lot of updates here recently, but there's been a change to this tank that I thought was pretty exciting that we haven't done to this tank in a while, which is actually put some fish. And obviously, you guys know if you haven't been watching, you have been watching. Um, you know there's all sinkless in here. There's like a school of 15 or 20 of them. You can never see all of them, but they're in here. They're usually always hanging out all together. But other than that, we've never actually had fish, stuff we can actually see. We usually don't always see the all. When you first look at this tank, you never see anything at all. I mean, unless you look closely, you'll see some autosinkless, but there's never been some moving action in this tank. There's nothing, ever been exciting about it. Ever since we didn't have the Amazon puffer no more, and that's what was this tank was made for. And except I don't want to get another one, or at least more, until we get out of this house and set this tank back up and redo it. This tank's been kind of bare. As you know, like we had some German blue rams, and those didn't last very long because, as you know, the pet store, even the best one that I have here, it's kind of my fault, but as you guys know, there's a disease that broke out. It was just some ick, and of course I didn't have meds on me, and I had to buy some, and by then it was just too late. Um, Obviously I got rid of the ick, but the fish were already dying. And so we lost them, but I mean, what can you do? We've learned now. Now I know not to do that. Even though that just goes to show, no matter how long you do something, stuff's still gonna happen. And I've only dealt with ick one time in 10 years. So for me to expect ick, I just didn't think about it. So that was kind of a failure. And then ever since then, I just didn't even care no more. I didn't put fish in this tank. I just left it as an auto sinkless kind of tank, and but it still looked good. That's the whole point of this tank. It's more of a for the plants and the look of it than anything. But so I added. So I was like, might as well just add a little school to this tank and do something real simple. Nothing crazy. I mean, I did want to add some. You know me. I like the rare stuff, but I just went to the fish store and just found something, something to put in this tank. So what we did was, I wanna, this is kind of annoying me, these little water streaks, but we put some white clouds in this tank, and I thought those were a good idea. Yeah, they're easy and, probably the most common thing out there, but they're tiny and, what more perfect to put in this tank? That's kind of what I was wanting, just a bunch of tiny fish that we can put a big school of. So there's about 15 in here, which is a great schooling number. I always like to do a dozen or more. Usually they say six. I just think that's too low, especially if you're gonna do a school. When I think of school, I'm going 12 plus. So yeah, there's about 15 here. What I like about these fish is, they're not. They mostly stay more towards the top, as you can see. They're more roaming around, so it's actually kind of cool. Um, and yeah, I mean, I've never. This is actually my first time keeping white clouds. I just never kept them really, and yeah, I'm really liking them, and they're super easy. But I do like the color on them. Now I don't. On the thing it said this is a 24 karat breed. I thought that sounded weird. I know it sounded familiar, but it just didn't come up on the internet like that. So I don't know if these are just regular white clouds or I have no clue. So if somebody knows, but because I've never really dealt with white clouds, really, to be honest, but or even paid attention to them, I just knew they were white clouds. But yeah, so we got to school them, and then for an oddball pickup, he usually stays to the top two. Oh, here he is. We got a killifish. Now there is one in here. I know, or at least is what I've seen. Most people keep these in more than one, but they only had one there, and I just kind of liked it, and he seemed kind of lonely, so I just had to pick him up. He just looked different. I thought, why not? So we get it good. Yeah, I thought he really looked cool, but so yeah, that's kind of the pickups I got. Just to add something to this tank. Nothing special here. But I thought I'd give you guys a little update on what has been going on, and of course, it hasn't been fishing so long. Literally, I looked on the video. The last time we had fish was obviously the Germans, and that was 8 months ago. Like, how's it already been 8 months? Like that's kind of weird. So the tank's been empty for so long. Um, but see, I will see what happens. I think eventually, obviously, eventually, all these fish are gonna come out. But when we redo this tank, the all sinklers are gonna stay. But the white clouds, we might. I don't know if we're gonna switch him. We might, because that tank is eventually gonna get upgraded too. But I don't know if I'm gonna keep them with those fish. Who knows? I probably will. But as you guys know, the plan for this is to rescape it. Um, Obviously, we're gonna have a similar kind of setup with the rocks and ADA soil, but it's gonna be a little more different, scape, and we're actually gonna plant the whole bottom, so we have a full carpet of Monte Carlo this time. And but yeah, so we can able to rescape it and put a group of Amazon puffers this time instead of one, because last time we just had one, because that's all I could get, and I think it'd be really, really cool, except the escape's gonna be more open this time, at least in the front. I think it'd be cool to put at least 3 or 4 Amazon puffers, at least to start with. I don't, this tank's big enough for that, but I don't want to get too crazy because I don't know how that's all gonna work yet. So, but I definitely want more than one this time. But yeah, I mean, other than that, that's kind of the. I don't want to bore you guys by talking. I'm sure not a lot of you made it this far, anyways. But for the ones that are keep watching, not a, not much else I can really say. Update, obviously, if you guys want to update on the actual tank itself, the last video has all that and all the equipment and everything here. But obviously, if you see this video and you want to know something, I can more than will answer it in the comment section. I'll respond. I respond to everybody. So other than that, tell me guys what you think about the new additions. I think they're cool. They're simple, nothing crazy. Just a small little school fish. Just adds a little bit of character, some movement into the tank. When you actually look at this tank, you can actually see some stuff moving around for once. But and I think the next fish, at least the fish I wanted to add in here in the first place, was this time I was gonna get Bolivian rams. I might get a pair of those, so we'll see what happens. But I'll update you guys when that happens if I do. And expect separate videos on actually each of these fish, their own guides and cares and all that. But other than that, that's all I really gotta say. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next